Grand Rising. Consistency. Thought about this this morning because today I would have had all the reasons not to get up and go to training and do my stuff that I do in the morning, because just didn't feel right, and in these moments you just have to tell your fucking monkey brain to shut up and just do it. Consistency will always win over talent and over any other factor that you might put in that equation. It's better to show up at 60% over a long period of time versus just a couple of times at 100. And especially when you train stuff, that because it's easy to grasp. It's a bit harder with business, I would say, and with building companies and building new projects and stuff like that, because there's more factors that play into something being successful. But yeah, let's just take it with an easy topic like training, because I'm on my way to train now. It's like 7 a.m. and once you have an injury and you cannot train anymore, let's say you have a wrist injury like I did, and you cannot go boxing anymore, you cannot use that hand for impact sports, then pretty much you stop training from one day to the other. Sure, you can train like some other body parts and stuff, but like it's not the same, right? And you won't progress properly because you cannot use one of the limbs. And that just opens your eyes to exactly that equation that I was talking about, where consistency always wins, right? And that's why it's so important to warm up properly, right? And to stretch and to do your stretching, aside from the actual training sessions. And over time you learn that, and you learn to incorporate that, and you learn to take it easy and not always push 110% and go super hard, because you want to keep going, you want to be consistent and get that nervous system right, and pumping in the right amounts and whenever it's needed, and keep your hormone levels balanced and all that shit. But yeah, consistency, super important. I had to learn it as well, because I had, like in my youth, something comes to mind now, and it was like my talent of playing piano, for example, right? Like I was pretty good at it, and I would never practice. I would just play, by the ear, and would just memorize the notes, right? And the whole piano, the whole song, let's say, right? And yeah, I would get by, I would get by, and I would get through it, and I would be good at it, but I just wouldn't put in the required consistency of training, right? And in that sense of practicing playing piano, right? If you practice, let's say 3 times a week on a regular basis, you will just get so much better at some point, right? And eventually I stopped playing completely because I wasn't putting in the reps, because I wasn't getting like interested in practicing, and just wouldn't interest me at all. And so what's the outcome? The outcome is I don't play at all. I'm sure there's other reasons that played into that that I don't want to go into now, because That's not the point. But now I'm not playing at all, so the result is like no practice whatsoever, and then on the other hand, I could have just kept going in a slow manner and kept practicing frequently, and maybe I would still be playing. It's the same with any other endeavor. It's the same with any other project. If you just keep going, if you build a habit around it, and it would just become normal, right? And you brush your teeth in the morning, and how you go to sleep, and you get your food and stuff, it just becomes a habit. And that's why, especially with addictions, it's so difficult to break them if you don't know how, because stuff becomes a habit. The feelings that are associated with the desired outcome when you take a substance or when you indulge in anything that is addictive to you, that feeling and that state that you're then in becomes a habit, right? Like you're used to it, you enjoy being in that state. And so these are factors that I bring into my program that I'm building, and it is very crucial to understand that, because for me, I struggled for a long time to get rid of these negative habits that I had, these addictions, because I just didn't have the tools to overcome those, and I didn't have the tools to move them out of my way step by step, because it is difficult, and it's with a lot of substances, you cannot just stop taking it overnight. It's pretty much the worst thing to do. So you have to gradually, for example, slow down and gradually decrease the intake and so on, right? It really depends on what you're taking and what you're using. But I've seen it all. I've not used everything myself, but I've seen most of it, also with other people and with acquaintances, and yeah. So I'm bringing all that knowledge into that program that I have, all these conversations with the doctors, and with the different coaches and therapists that I work with, and the guides and the medicine journeys, and I'll put everything into that program, because I think there's only one way to actually make it work, and it's a holistic approach, right? Because only the holistic approach will actually make sure that you're going to get through that in a sustainable and in a long-term way, right? Because if you don't know how to create new habits, if you don't know how to approach life after getting rid of those, then you will quickly fall back into your old habits, because it feels more familiar, it feels better, it feels more enjoyable. So yeah, holistic is the approach, and it's the only approach in my opinion. And there's so many factors, the alignment of mind, body, soul, and spirit has to be present in order for it to be a sustainable way of living, right? And a lot of teachers and coaches that I work with, they just go for the mental, for example, right? They just go for that mental key that can be unlocked, or that lock that can be unlocked, and they just go for that part, right? But since it's all connected, it's just one part in the equation, right? It's just one part of unlocking that sober lifestyle. And so yeah, I'll keep you posted. This is coming out very soon, and if you're interested in it, shoot me a DM. And if you need help, shoot me a DM. We can already start talking if you want, and I can help you out. And yeah, see you soon.